This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
I need that for myself to be motivated. I need a new challenge. So I have to dream up stuff, and then I dream it up, and then I try to do it.
I'm with the famous R. Winston Morris, tuba professor, tuba guru.
Where's that boy?
Tuba
there
extraordinaire.
He is up there.
Here, and we're sitting in the midst of your personal collection, which now belongs in a public exhibit, right?
You got it.
Thanks
Yeah.
to Tennessee Tech Foundation.
You got it.
Awesome.
All right, what do you need to know about it?
Well, tell me.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
All
You
right.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
There are three parts to this.
Right.
Okay. The main part is the collection of artwork.
Yes.
250 pieces.
Wow.
That feature the tuba. Okay, and then there's the figurines and everything.
Right.
Which is 2,500 pieces, more or less, there. That's the Guinness World Record collection of tuba-related items.
My goodness.
That was their designation. That's what they
Okay.
wanted to call it. You know, to have this dadgum thing recognized by the Guinness people was
Right.
like a dissertation. I mean, it took me a couple of years. It's not like, oh, well, I got this thing, and they say, okay,
Yeah,
zap.
you're on, right?
You got it. So, I mean, you had to literally go through, document every piece, photograph as many pieces as possible. I had to videotape, archivist.
Wow.
put
And
them
then they've been here, right? The
well,
Guinness
they had to
people
come to
have
my,
been
all this stuff was in my home, believe it or not.
here. Oh, wow.
So they had to come to my home, two archivists, they call them archivists,
Right.
and I had to videotape them documenting, going through every single piece. I had to lay out a lot of the stuff on tables, and they had to document it. And then I had to send all this documentation into the Guinness World Record people in London. And it literally took about 2 years for me to
My
assemble all the information that they wanted. Then you send it into them,
Right.
and then you sit around and you sit around, and then they finally come back. Now you can do a fast track. I'm just telling you this, if you've got something you want to submit
I don't have anything.
for a Guinness World Record.
Okay.
You can do the fast track
Okay.
for $3,000.
Oh, wow.
$3,000. They'll get back to you in a couple of days. Zap, you're in the Guinness World Records.
How about
Or
that?
the freebie route, which is the way that I preferred to go because I wasn't.
You
in
did
a
the
hurry.
work.
Yeah, it took months.
Okay.
It took about 4, 5, 6 months to hear back from them. End of story. Got the thing back. Got the certificate.
And they came. They did a Facebook Live with you.
Well, they
went
did that
around?
since we assembled this
Right.
exhibit here.
Right.
You know, like about a month or so ago. Once everything was set up, they came in and they filmed all of the artwork, and they filmed the collection, the figurines and stuff like that, to do a Facebook interview thing. But now I got to finish telling you this, Becky.
Okay.
You're jumping the gun on me.
I know,
here.
but we got, some people out here don't even know all about you and the tuba.
Well, I'm going to
So
tell
we
you
gotta
something.
get to that.
Because the exhibit is made up of the Guinness World Record stuff,
Okay.
number one.
Right.
Number two, all of this stuff over here,
Yes.
unfortunately, is about me. And my former students, my alumni, that I
Right.
keep real close communication with, by the way. We had a 50th anniversary back in October of the Tuba Ensemble and the Tuba Studio, and all of my students, there are about 300 of them. And believe it or not, of the original 9 people from 1967 that all came back in October to the exhibit. There's a photograph of them over here. So at any rate, you got the Guinness World Record stuff, and this is all documents my career,
Right.
that my students insisted that happen. And then on the far wall down here, it documents the first 50 years of the Tennessee Tech Tuba Ensemble. So those are separate from the Guinness record. The Guinness is all the artwork, all the exhibit, all of the figurines. So that's number one. Number
Right.
two is, well, not necessarily in that order. Number two is would be all of my stuff here from my
Right,
career,
right.
and then an entire wall or more over there of the 50th anniversary of the Tennessee Tech Tuba Ensemble, which you know all about since you've been
Right.
around for a while.
Well, I have been around for a while,
Yeah,
and I do
and-
know you're pretty famous, and I do know that you are all about the tuba, and you've been here since 1967
67,
teaching the
teaching.
tuba and the
Teaching the-
euphonium.
Euphonium.
Right, at Tennessee Tech.
Way to go, Becky.
How about that?
Euphonium.
Right.
I'm surprised you didn't say baritone horn.
Well, no,
Okay,
I called
but
it by its proper name.
Yeah, it's a tenor tuba.
Yeah. So
This
why?
is the big baby.
Yeah. What about it?
This is a contrabass tuba, the big one. And then the small one, half
Right,
size,
right.
a lot of people call it a baritone horn, it's a euphonium. But this is what this has all been about. It's just been really an interesting thing, right?
So it is an interesting thing. So Winston, why the tuba? Why did you ever
Because,
start?
Becky, I'm going to tell you why the tuba, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm in the band, along with 8 trillion other people, playing a little rinky-dinky trumpet that anybody on the planet can pick up a trumpet and be a world-class player. So I'm sitting there playing the trumpet in the 7th grade. I'd already played it for a year, so 8th grade.
Right.
And the band director said, this big horn hanging up there on the wall back there, there's nobody else in the building stupid enough to play this big horn.
Oh,
I raised my hand. The rest is history.
wow.
That's why I'm playing the tuba. The band director said, I need somebody. Well, and I was about the same size in the 8th grade that I am now, which is about 5'10", 5'11". And so I was about a foot taller than all the other kids in the 7th grade and 8th grade. I just spurted up. Don't
Right.
ask me why. But I spurted up. So I was one of the bigger kids in the brass section. So I went and picked up, not this instrument right here, Becky, no. The sousaphone.
The great big
The
bell one?
sousaphone,
Yeah.
named after,
Sousa.
are you sure?
Yeah, John
Was
Philip
it?
Sousa.
John Philip Sousa, not
Right,
George
see?
Washington.
No.
You were ready to say George Washington.
wasn't. I said
it was
John
the
Philip.
Washington phone. This was the sousaphone.
Okay.
That's the big baby with the big bell up
Yeah.
front. You use it in the marching band. So that's what I played all through high school. And until I was a college student, I'd never
Did
seen.
you play tuba in college?
Well, yeah, I did, but that's the first time I ever saw an actual tuba.
Oh,
Now, a sousaphone is a tuba. It's just redesigned in such a way that you can march with it. And so it's called a sousaphone after John Philip Sousa. But the reason I played it is because the band director said, we need somebody in the band to play this. And like I said, I'd already played the trumpet for a year and a half. Nothing to it. Don't let anybody.
I'm not going to tell those trumpet players.
It
you
was
said
nothing
that.
to it. I'd even picked up
Yep.
a trombone with a slide. And
Oh, yeah.
I'd take it home and go through a whole method book in one night. I said, anybody can do this. And then he says, well, who wants to play the tuba? And the challenge of the instrument was really what motivated me. That it was there weren't a lot of other people playing it.
Right.
In the orchestra, how many tubas do you have? Do you know?
No.
One.
One.
One tuba in the orchestra.
Wow.
And then in the concert band, you might have anywhere from 2 to 4, depending on the size of the band. But I mean, it's just like the people who sort of gravitate towards do this, for generally speaking, and I know virtually every tuba player on planet Earth these days.
Right.
It's just all have the same kind of type A personality, dare I say. Hello?
I mean, look at your collection.
Hello?
That's what I'm saying.
So, but I mean, people sort of gravitate towards this.
Right.
That are really self-motivated people that don't necessarily need 8 or 10 other people all sitting around squeaking and squawking on a clarinet or fiddling around
right.
on a fiddle.
Right.
Now, how many fiddles you got in the orchestra?
A lot.
A buttload of them, you know. So, I mean,
A lot.
I love so the challenge of the instrument.
So why is it challenging? Why you say the challenge of it? What's so challenging?
It takes 4 times as much wind to play the tuba as a rinky-dinky trumpet. Wow. It plays about 2 octaves lower. Trumpet's up here, tenor tuba, euphonium is here, bass tuba is down here. And it makes it more difficult to hear. It takes a lot more wind. You have to really focus that wind, and to be able to play the instrument properly in tune with a good sound, it's a major challenge. I'm not saying that the other instruments don't have their challenges also.
Right.
But it has a unique challenge. You got to have someone with a lot of vital capacity, which means how many liters of air you're taking in. And I've had students with limited vital capacity who are so motivated and talented, they could just be phenomenal players.
Wow.
So, but there is a limit. You can only go so far. You've got to have enough breeze, as my teacher used to say. My teacher, whose name was Bill Bell, there's Mr. Bell. He was John Philip Sousa's principal tuba player.
Wow.
There it is. He's my teacher.
That's a direct link then.
He was Toscanini's principal tuba player with the NBC Symphony.
My goodness.
He was Leonard Bernstein's principal tuba player with the New York Philharmonic.
Wow.
And then I was fortunate enough in the early 60s to do graduate work and study with him. So he was my primary teacher. Bill Bell, that's a good name for a tuba player.
It is,
right?
isn't it?
The Bell. And he was just an incredible person. So at any rate, he was my main teacher that, you know, as a graduate student, that really taught me about everything I know about the horn.
So Winston, you're from Barnwell?
Barnwell, get it right,
I know,
Becky.
I
mean, it's
know.
a famous town.
Barnwell, South Carolina.
Yeah, it's
Is that
just
a small town?
It's about the size of a postage stamp. Well, actually, it was an interesting little town. Okay, you got a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. The little town was about 3,000 people or so. My father was the only pharmacist in town who ran the local Rexall pharmacy.
Right,
He was
okay.
a pharmacist. My mother was a registered nurse in the local health department. I'm supposed to be a doctor. That didn't work
course.
out. Sorry.
No, right.
This is what I wanted to do.
You were the doctor of the tuba.
So the tiny little town called Barnwell in the mid-50s, all of a sudden, this huge announcement comes up. They're going to build a plant called the Savannah River Project, and it's a plant on the Savannah River that makes tritium. And without tritium, you don't have no bombs. That's what you need for.
Okay.
So we called it the bomb plant.
Okay.
And this was like, they spent about 4 or 5 years building this thing. So this little town, about 1955, you wake up one day and this is in the papers, big headlines.
Wow.
And the next year from 3,000 people to about 12, 18,000 people.
Wow.
And every little town in that area. And the schools, there were so many people, you'd go to either the school from 6 to noon or noon to 6. I mean, you know, and all of a sudden it just went insane.
Yeah.
You know, just thousands and thousands of construction workers and engineers and people like that building this huge plant called the Savannah River Project. If you look at the map down there around Augusta, Georgia,
Okay.
as it moves into South Carolina, there's a big area. You can't fly over this. You can't walk through it. Army came in and they even moved a couple towns. They literally moved some small towns out of that area
That had to change your life.
to build this bomb plant.
Yeah.
Well, it was going from a little town of about 3,000, where, you know, an entrenched kind of a community, and everybody just there. All of a sudden, people coming from all over the world who were working at this place, and it was a mind expanding
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, from Barnwell, South Carolina, it was an interesting little town, but that's where I grew up.
And is that where you met your wonderful wife, Bob?
My wife started chasing me in the 6th grade. I always teased her, bless her heart. I lost her about 2.5 years ago. She literally moved the town. Her father was one of the construction workers to build in the plant. She moved the town in the 6th grade, and they lived a couple blocks away. And literally, that was it.
She was
From the 6th grade.
6th grade.
Right? Yeah.
And you all you started dating in high school?
Well, I mean,
know she chased you.
I
and
started
all.
chasing. Well, she was chasing me, and I was chasing her from the 6th grade on. And from the 6th grade, when we were finally married, we were together for 63 years.
Wow.
Married for 53.
Wow.
And yeah, but I mean, that was part of that whole deal, that construction business. Her dad moved there.
Yeah.
Part of the construction thing. I would never have met her.
Well, now you two were so complimentary of each other, and
Yeah.
I know she got very sick, and you were incredible caretaker.
Right.
And how did music play into your lives together? How?
You mean with my wife and her
Yes.
situation?
Yeah. Well, and just your whole life together.
Well, she was an English teacher.
Okay.
Hello. I had to mind my P's and Q's
I bet.
big time.
I bet.
She was an English teacher, and she was a very dedicated teacher. She taught in the local school system. She was a 10th grade English teacher. She was one of the first, I think they called it the Master Teacher Program
Yes.
that Ned McWhirter started. And she was the first one. The first year they had that, I think there were only 5 in Putnam County, and there was only 1 at the high school, Cookeville High School.
Wow.
And she was that person, which meant that she received tons of money, $20,000, $30,000.
Right.
To buy all of the projection equipment and laser players and printers and to the extent that there were a lot of computers floating around in those days.
Right.
This was around, I don't know, about 1989, 1990, 91, 92, somewhere in there. So she was a terrific teacher, because she was one of the first ones in Putnam County that was part of that master teacher program. And
super supportive of your work too.
well, she was, I mean, she let me do what I wanted to do and what I needed to do, and she just, it was amazing. I mean, it was. She never complained about it. Said, I will rehearse till midnight. I mean, I'll meet my students. I say, I'll see you guys at 10 o'clock. We rehearse at midnight. You know? And so,
So you started at Tennessee Tech in 1967?
1967, 50 years ago.
And you started the Tennessee Tech Tuba Ensemble then?
You better believe it.
And you had only 9 members.
Well, this is true.
And but then you grew over those 50 years. I mean, and how many commercial record productions have you put out? Me personally, or the Tuba Ensemble? Well, both.
Well, the Tuba Ensemble, we'll just speak about the Tennessee Tech Tuba Ensemble. Literally, as we speak, yesterday, the box arrived from our record producer in New York with our 28th recording.
My goodness.
28th, which is obviously the most recorded ensemble of its kind anywhere in the world. And the ensemble is just a unique thing, and they're all over the world now. They're everywhere.
From starting from
Well, we pretty much started here. What we were doing here was a little bit unique and a little bit different than what anybody else was doing. As far as large ensembles, I might even call it a tuba choir, versus chamber music, where you might have a trio, 1 on a part, 3 people, or a quartet, 4 people, quintet, 5 people, etc. That's chamber music, 1 on a part. But if I was going to play something that had 4 parts, part 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than having 4 people play that, I might have 3 people on this part, 3 people on that part, 4 on this, 5 on that. Sort of like a choir. Versus a quartet, a barbershop quartet with 4 people. You have a large group. So our approach was the large ensemble, and that was to accommodate all the students, not just the top students, all of the students, giving them all an opportunity. And that whole program, Becky, a lot of people have misunderstood what that was all about over the years. They've always thought that was the end, that all these students, that their purpose was to accommodate that ensemble. It's the other way around. The ensemble is there to accommodate those individual students, to let them grow as a musician and as a person, become responsible people, show up for rehearsal on time, know your part, be responsible, blah, 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 you know. And that's the purpose of that ensemble. It's always been the purpose of the ensemble. It wasn't an end to itself, it was a means to an end.
And they weren't all music majors, right?
For the most part, they were.
Okay.
For the extreme large part, they were. But I've had incredibly highly motivated non-music students. Maybe it was a student in high school that played in the all-state band, and they were a terrific player. They come to school, if they're good enough, you know, they would play in the ensemble. These days, it's less and less because I have so many music students.
Well, they come to study the tuba.
Well, they come to study the tuba and to play in this ensemble because, like I said, the program is quite well known due to the fact of all the recordings that we've done. You get on YouTube. Look at Tennessee Tech Tuba Ensemble. Couple hundred things pop up. Literally a couple hundred things. Our record producer's out of New York. He works with a company called Naxos. They dump all this stuff on YouTube. So almost everything we've ever recorded, almost, is on this YouTube thing. So, I mean, any kid anywhere on the thing, they type in tuba ensemble, bang, our thing pops up. There it is.
Well, you also have your own Apple Music catalog. You do. I saw that.
You did?
Yes, your music's on Apple. Oh, I'm impressed. I can buy your music on Apple. I can put in my little iTunes.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. So that's a cloud deal or something like that. I'm still using an electric typewriter. Leave me alone here, okay?
Well, you know, Todd Gerald produced.
I know Todd Gerald. He's a troublemaker, by the way.
Listen now.
Don't let that word out.
I'm not going to tell him.
This is a secret,
All right. He produced a wonderful documentary.
Tuba U, Basso Profundo, thanks to the support of WCTE, for example.
Yes, we're the presenting station. Still airs nationally.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's our only production that ever made primetime PBS.
Well, fantastic, yeah.
And one time, we had a grandfather call us from Florida. He'd seen it on his Florida PBS station, and he wanted to order the DVD.
Right.
And he said, my grandson had been bugging me to want to play the tuba, and I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard until I saw that TV show.
Saw that TV show. Then he knew it was stupid, right?
No.
No.
He was impressed with you.
Well, fantastic, yeah.
So what do you think about that documentary?
What, the documentary itself?
Yeah.
You know, when did we do that? Was it like 400 years ago?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, about 10, 12 years ago.
It's about 10 years ago, I think.
Actually, it was our 40th anniversary.
Okay, so it was 10 years ago.
It was exactly 10 years ago because we just celebrated the 50th anniversary.
Right, and he traveled to Carnegie Hall with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Todd and Gerald, I mean, what can I say?
Right.
You know, and the bluegrass, the underground stuff and everything he does. It was an incredible adventure working with Todd on that and helping produce that whole thing. And it was just a delight to work with him. He's one of our best friends. We think the world of him. And we've gotten responses from literally all over the country, if not, you know, all over the world. I don't know if it's been shown out of this country or not, but I mean, people maybe have seen the DVD or whatever.
Right.
And but it helped promote everybody involved.
Well, do you get comments like that, grandfathers, a lot?
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Daily.
Why the tuba? Why the
daily? I sit at the computer at night and I get all this stuff cleared out, and I think, okay, I'm in good shape.
Right.
You know, and then I wake up in the morning and I go and I hit open and bang, there's a million other messages. Some little kids writing from somewhere wanting to know about what can I play on the horn, what piece of music this, or hey, my son's interested in the tuba and my daughter's playing the tuba. By the way,
is that new?
More and more young ladies playing the horn, and I mean phenomenal players.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite piece of music that you've created?
That I've done personally?
Yeah, that you've arranged?
Well, you know, and I'll be honest with you, it's been years and years since I've done anything like that, or arranged or transcribed anything, because I had to do it initially because nobody else was doing it.
Right.
And if I was going to have music for my ensemble, I had to sit down and create that music and generate that music by arranging and transcribing things and encouraging other people to compose it. As I was successful doing that and getting other people to arrange this and compose this, over the years, dozens and dozens and hundreds of composers and arrangers, I no longer have to do that. It's not necessary for me to do that. And other people do it better. And I can move on to other things that I needed to do.
Winston, we're going to run out of time before.
Oh, no.
I know.
I hate it when that happens.
I do too.
Okay, all right.
So in the few minutes that we have left, I want you, you're not going to retire, are you? I mean, you've had your 50th anniversary.
It's only been 50 years.
Yeah, so I don't want.
Just getting started good.
Good. So you're not retiring, right?
I have no plans. People have asked me, I may change my mind next week. Okay?
Okay, all right.
Or maybe even tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe even before this interview's over with. You keep messing with me
Okay,
here.
man.
Okay. No, I have no plans.
You love it?
I love if I didn't love what I'm doing, I'd quit a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing. You know, so if I tell my students, hey, I'll see you at 9 o'clock, we rehearse to midnight, which we just did 2 nights ago, then I love it. And I get through at midnight, I'm fired up, I'm ready to go. Yeah. They're wimping out, they're just a bunch of kids, you know. So, but I mean, as long as I can hang in there and do it, you know, as long as I feel like I'm really being productive and enjoying it, as long as I enjoy it, my health holds out, I intend to do it. Seriously, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You can't, you know.
So what's next? What's something that you haven't done that you want to do?
But this is the challenge. This is a major challenge. After doing this for 50 years and having done every kind of piece of music there is, you've been to Carnegie Hall 8 times, our 28th recording just came out. So that's what it's all about, exposing these students to different types of music and different environments and everything. Where do you go from here? Keep on cranking down the road, trying to come up with new things and different things to do. It's a major challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
I need that for myself to be motivated. I need a new challenge. So I have to dream up stuff, and then I dream it up, and then I try to do it. I think that's the major difference in what we've done is that we dream things and then we do them. Yeah. And a lot of people can dream stuff, But that follow through part,
Yep.
where you say, well, someday I'm going to do so and so. Okay, right. And someday, all of a sudden, it's someday, and you haven't done it.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. But, you know, we appreciate the support of the Tennessee Tech University and the Cookeville community. And certainly WCTE has been very supportive of our programs over the years and the concerts and stuff, and promoted the group, and we appreciate that very much.
Well, we love you, man. We
Well,
do.
thank you.
Any parting advice to a student who's watching, who maybe is thinking?
I've got advice, but I can't say it on the air. Okay? I got 2 rules.
Okay.
I got 2 rules. Nobody gives a fill in the blank,
Yeah.
and there ain't no justice. Those are my 2 rules.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Did you ever see the movie There Ain't No Justice in Jackson County?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are my 2 rules.
And you're living
All
by
right,
them.
I'll live by them every day.
All right. I love you, man.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.